Hello, my name is Greg Golden and I work with the Dean of Students office as the Assistant Dean of Students. Today, I'm hoping to give you all a little bit of an explanation of some of the services that are offered by the University of New Mexico Dean of Students office. And please, if you have any questions, you can direct them always to our office at the DOSO, D-O-S-O at unm.edu. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you because I've got a little presentation prepared. So here we go. The goals today are to help you become familiar with the Dean of Students Office services, as I indicated already. So a few things that we can help out with. Here's our functional areas. So we have the Lobo Respect Advocacy Center. We have some administrative things that we offer to folks like you. We have some leadership programs and some educational opportunities, including National Student Exchange. We also host the Office of Parents and Families. We also have the Office of Rights and Responsibilities and our Center for Financial Capability. So for the Lobo Respect Advocacy Center, or LRAC, I kind of like to think of them as a diagnoser of problems and solver of problems. That's why I've included this photo of this gentleman named House. For those of you that used to watch the show House, this guy was always diagnosing these really obscure problems. Many people who don't know what else to do will contact the Dean of Students Office and Lobo Respect Advocacy Center because we are great problem solvers. So some of the things that Lobo Respect can help you out with include things like absence notifications for students who are going to be missing some time and need their instructors to be notified. In addition, if a student is experiencing military service and gets deployed, we can help them be assisted with military withdrawal. We also do things like student death notices and postpartum degrees that are facilitated by our office. In addition, the Lobo Respect Advocacy Center hosts a food pantry that occurs usually once a month at the end of the month on a Friday on South Campus. And then we have an on-campus pantry that students can visit no more than 2 times per month to get some fresh produce and some cool groceries and things of that nature, which is pretty great. In addition, we facilitate tuition refund appeals for students who have experienced some type of medical emergency or have a family member that experienced a medical emergency that needs them to be taken care of. But one of the most common things that we see students for is confidential services. So our confidential advocates are here to assist students who don't necessarily want to report something to a university, but need some support from staff at the university through a challenging time. So many of the things that are included that they can help students out with who need it are included below, including navigating university resources, class accommodations, or housing accommodations. Lobo Respect is a terrific problem-solving entity in our office. So in addition, in the Dean of Students office, we offer some administrative services. So something called a short-term loan. Students are eligible to get up to $800 within about 24 to 72 hours to help them out with emergencies. Now, they do carry an interest rate because it is a loan, it's not a gift, but it's only about 7%. So on an $800 loan, 7% is usually about $56. They're due within 45 days to the bursar's office. But in the event that a student gets a flat tire or something like that, we don't want them to go to a payday lender or put it on a credit card, because credit cards carry a much higher interest rate. 7% is usually very reasonable, and students can use aid and other things to help support the cost of the loan that they took out at some point. We also offer respondent support services to help students who have been accused of something at the University of New Mexico so that they're given some type of respondent support as well. We also have financial literacy programming, but of course, as I mentioned, we do triage and redirection. If you don't know who else to call, please call the Dean of Students office. Again, we are terrific problem solvers. We also do different workshops, including alcohol and other drugs, to help students to make good choices and to be informed about what policies are on campus. So leadership and engagement, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about National Student Exchange and alternative spring break now. So National Student Exchange is a program that allows your student to go on exchange to a different American college or university without having to pay out-of-state tuition. Or I should say that they pay whatever they pay at the University of New Mexico when they're on the exchange. So if they go to an institution that's outside of New Mexico, they're going to pay tuition to the University of New Mexico, and they receive a tuition waiver to the other campus. They will pay $0 in tuition. So it's a great way for a student to get an out-of-state or out-of-New Mexico experience without having to pay the out-of-state sticker price. It's a very affordable way to get a different type of experience. So when it comes to eligibility, they only have to have a 2.5 GPA and 24 credit hours by the time they would go on exchange. And here's the plus. All forms of financial aid and scholarships that students are eligible for they actually apply in the same way as if the student would be here on campus. So if they're on the lottery scholarship or an Amigo scholarship, they're going to benefit from that tuition pricing, and they're also going to benefit from that scholarship regardless of whether they're even taking classes here on campus. They'll be on an exchange doing something different, but they're able to take advantage of that. So NSE has all kinds of benefits. The one great thing is that all of the coursework is more likely to transfer back because institutions are accredited by the same set of standards. Sometimes with an international exchange, you'll be rolling the dice and hoping that the coursework comes back as you hope, but there's no guarantees. Whereas a national student exchange, we know exactly how the coursework is going to come back before the student goes on the exchange. So our alternative spring break goes to Taos, New Mexico. There's a beautiful shot from Taos. The alternative spring break is a civic engagement opportunity where if a student doesn't want to just throw away their spring break and go someplace that's going to be less productive, they can do something meaningful and inexpensive where they're going to help rebuild or assist in building a broken home in an impoverished area. They'll be able to connect with new peers around leadership and civic engagement, and they learn a lot about themselves, they learn about others, and they learn how to have a major impact in the UNM community and broader in the New Mexico community. We work with Habitat for Humanity on this alternative spring break, and it's a terrific opportunity for students to do something meaningful while they're on exchange. So as you're aware, we also facilitate parent and family programs. So Family Connection Program is part of that. It gives you an opportunity to join the Parent and Family Parent Association, where all of your contributions are helpful to be able to help us have engaging programs for you to stay connected with the University of New Mexico. But the Parent Association also does scholarships that go to directly benefit students. So the Family Connection Program is a great way for you to stay engaged with your student and stay engaged with the University of New Mexico. Now, in our office, the Dean of Students office is also notorious for enforcement of policies, right? So we have administration of the Student Code of Conduct, or in other words, all of the rules at the University of New Mexico. So these rules are put forth so that students know what the expectations are of them. Now, all of these are found online. If you wanted to go look at the 17 plus rules that we have for students, they're basically don't lie, cheat, steal, don't hurt your neighbor, follow the administrative rules, and follow the direction of university officials in essence, right? But in some cases, not your student, but some students will make mistakes while they are in college. And our office is here to make sure that they feel supported, but more importantly, that they learn from those mistakes that they might make. So these include academic dishonesty matters or things that violations of the Student Code of Conduct. Most importantly, you should know that we are here to support your student and educate your student to make sure that they learn from the mistakes that they make. So in addition, we have a care team, which is our campus response to be able to help students who have exhibited some type of disruptive or disturbing behavior. Things like wellness checks, we facilitate those in our office for students who have exhibited some concerning behavior or suicidal tendencies, worrisome things that we want to make sure that we're tracking. So what the care team allows us to do is to continue to look after those students. Now, some things to know is your student retains their First Amendment rights when they're on campus. So college is all about students being exposed to different perspectives, different ideas, and sometimes those can cause disruptions. But what's most important is we don't want those to disrupt the educational processes at the University of New Mexico. So we're here to draw the balance between what is disruptive behavior and what is free speech for students to be able to express difficult opinions and difficult ideologies. So we're here to support those students, but also help them to understand what the impact is when they make those things. So if you have concerns about a student, you can always notify our office. We'll facilitate things like wellness checks, as I mentioned, or you can make a report at care.unm.edu, and we'll be able to check up on students. But most importantly, if I can't reiterate this enough, if you don't know who else to contact at the University of New Mexico, I encourage you to reach out to our office in the Dean of Students office. We're terrific problem solvers. We will not give you the runaround, and we can assure you that we're going to take care of your questions and the matters that you require us to look into in a prompt fashion. So if you have any questions, please direct them to our office. I'm always going to be here, maybe working from home. Same with Lisa and some of the other staff that you've already got a chance to interact with. Our Dean of Students has office hours every Tuesday, and she opens her door to be able to allow students to get a high-level administrator to hear their challenges and problems without having to go and get the runaround. So if a student wants to speak to our Dean of Students, she makes herself readily available. We would like to be able to support you as well. If you have any questions, again, please contact our office. It's a pleasure to speak with you. I'm sorry that I can't be there in person to greet you, but again, thank you for being a Lobo and welcome to the University of New Mexico.